You know, when we think about war, we usually picture tanks and soldiers on the ground, right? But what if I told you the most dangerous new battlefield is completely invisible? It's a place that's rewriting the entire rulebook of modern conflict.
Think about this. Right now, thousands of miles above your head, in the absolute silence of space, something has fundamentally changed. A critical advantage that the US has counted on for decades, well, it's just vanished.
And we're not talking about some passive satellite just floating up there. No, this is different. It's a predator. It's actively hunting, and it's delivering a brand new kind of weapon that could totally upend the balance of power in the Middle East.
For generations, it was pretty simple. America owned the high ground of space. That was the guarantee of its military dominance. Well, that era? It's over. A new power is now using that ultimate high ground to target American assets with a kind of precision we've just never seen from them before.
Okay, so who's doing this, and why is it happening right now? The answer lies in a powerful new alliance. But this isn't an alliance built just on guns and missiles. It's built on something way more valuable in the 21st century: data.
All right, so here's what we know from senior American officials. They're saying Russia has started giving Iran what they call, and this is a direct quote, exquisite intelligence capabilities. Now, forget about old maps or grainy photos. We are talking about top-tier, sensitive satellite imagery and electronic data that can pinpoint military targets in real time.
So what does that actually mean? Like in a real-world scenario? It means real-time targeting data. It's the ability to know the exact location of, say, a US warship or a fighter jet while it's moving. This kind of information gives an enemy the power to launch immediate, incredibly accurate attacks.
And this really shows you the new global chess game that's being played. It's a straight-up trade. Russia needs drones and missiles from Iran for its war in Ukraine. So in exchange, Iran gets access to the eyes in the sky of a global superpower, eyes that can help guide those very same weapons.
Okay, so we've talked about the high-level strategy, but let's bring this down to earth. What does this axis of data actually look like on the battlefield?
Well, the human cost is very real, and it's immediate. Take a look at a recent drone strike in Kuwait. It hit a facility where US troops were housed, and tragically 6 American service members were killed.
But here's the thing that's making everyone nervous: the accuracy of that attack. So the big question is, was that just a lucky shot? Or is this a sign of something new? A kind of surgical precision that really you can only get if you have eyes watching from orbit.
Now, to be clear, officials haven't come out and confirmed a direct link to Russian satellite data in that specific strike, but you can bet the possibility is setting off major alarm bells inside the Pentagon. Why? Because the attack fits the exact profile of this new kind of threat.
But you know, this whole situation isn't just a two-player game. There's a third major power involved: China. And they're playing a much more complicated and cautious hand here.
The US intelligence shows that China is doing this very delicate balancing act. On one hand, they'd love to see the US distracted. They want access to Iran's missile technology. But on the other hand, they are absolutely terrified of a real, full-scale war that could shut down the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, that's where a third of the world's oil flows. A shutdown there would crash the global economy, and they know it. So, you've got Beijing walking this tightrope. They'll give some financial help, maybe some spare parts to keep the pressure on America, but they're going to stop short of anything that could spark a huge war and tank their own economy.
So when you put all of this together, it points to a massive shift in how war is fought. The most critical battlefield of our time, it's not on land or at sea or even in the air anymore. It's the war for information.
Just think about this idea, the glass house. With this level of satellite surveillance, there's just nowhere to hide. Every single troop movement, every ship, every airfield is visible from above. The whole Middle East has basically become a glass house.
And that really gets us to the core of what's happening. The winning edge in a fight today. It's not just about having more firepower or faster jets. It's about having better information. The power to see, to track, and to predict what your enemy is going to do next. That is the ultimate weapon now.
So, this all leaves us with a really tough question, doesn't it? For so long, America's military strength was built on having better tech and better information than anyone else. But now that that advantage in space is slipping away, how can the US stay ahead in a world where its adversaries can watch its every move?